Okay, well, women's fear, the main reason I have an issue with women's fear is not related to anything here. And you can see why for me. I subscribed to her channel a long time ago. Because of the whole situation, I did unsubscribe. But this is a major reason why. Because I like channels like this that talk about things like this, that are a bit more sensible in some regards. Some people in these sectors support patriarchy and things of that nature. Some people do not really know how to convey a message enough to they don't know how to convey a message. They're probably not even trying to make people think they're conveying to others. Say, for example, some of the things she's talking about in this video, she's specifically talking about desperation, talking about things like who you're basically presenting your desperation to and how you're presenting it, so that those people now know that you're vulnerable and, can be manipulated. She acknowledges that men are men, and the way men sometimes treat women, they kind of predate them sometimes. And I do agree with that, and that's regardless of race. You present a scenario where you're talking about black men or whatever, now Bunny or whatever, and going to another race and presenting yourself that way, you're presenting yourself really desperate, and it's a very sad view of yourself. I mean, personally, this is not my perspective on it. I mean, I never, had any interest in black men, nor do I really think of, my prospects with a black man. I've always thought, with black men, they seem very easy from my perspective because they always are trying to approach me, but I don't know what's going on there. I never really take advantage of anything because I don't want it, kind of situation. But I do agree that, with men in general, we're heterosexuals, when we are dating and things of that nature. You have to present yourself a proper way to a man. It doesn't matter his race. You have to treat a man a certain way, when you're dating a man. You can't do what some of these women are doing, But I think, honestly, the behavior that some of these black women are expressing is not for the attention of white men. I think it's the attention of black men. They just use, interracial relationships and men of other races as a way to get attention from black men, So that's why they kind of want to try to, get people's attention that way. So I do agree with a lot of things she said here. Now, I didn't watch the whole video, but some of the things she was saying. Now, when she is going in, and I know a lot of people had an issue with what she was saying to some extent, because they were she was saying statistically white men were abandoning their children and some other stuff she said, and some people didn't agree with that. But, for me, when she went on about the whole historical sense of things, I just wanted to think, what did this have to do with, people talking about their options in dating and things of that nature or relationships? That really had nothing to do with it. I mean, if you really were to think of it in that sense, it probably actually would go in their favor, but I don't really think this is a race thing. I think this is a position thing. I think, honestly, laws are put in place for men because men won't follow them as much as women will. without those laws being in place. And I think a lot of the time, if they're given the go-ahead, they'll do a lot of things that are pretty horrendous, as long as it's legal. So to me, I mean, like, that's just how I see men a bit. But I don't think that's specific to someone's race, you know. But talking about, like, supposed colonizers and all that stuff, they did that for their families and their children and their legacy. So you would actually still say that those people were actually working in the best interest of their families, their women, their everything. So, I mean, like, if you were talking about the historical sense of things, it would seem like they were actually working in the best interest of their children and family and stuff. I don't think that's specific to white people, though. I think black men would do the same thing. I think Hispanic men and Asian men and everyone tends to work in the best interest of themselves and their family and their legacy and all that stuff, People do that kind of stuff, You could actually say that's devotion to one's family. But, other than that, I really didn't have anything against what she was saying here. Really, honestly. To me, it's just like she's basically saying, she doesn't want to put a man on a pedestal. I agree with that. I mean, like, why would she want to put a man on a pedestal? Now, she did do another video that I really liked, too. She was talking about how she didn't want, she thought it was too much to say, like, abort black male children or whatever, which I agree. I mean, like, I'm pro-life with all children. I don't care what their sex or their race is, I am very pro-life, So, I mean, like, she did bring up some points that I agree with the whole thing about being hurt, and some people saying stuff that might have been out of line because they were hurt. To me, I always thought that was a connotation to it, though, being hurt, by things like that. But, I mean, like, I have a situation where I'm not hurt by black men ever, so I mean, like, I don't have that problem like some of these people have, so I don't understand the hurt or anything. But I definitely did think that, yeah, it is extreme to think, indiscriminately abort black male children just because you're angry at black men. It's just weird to me. I mean, like, just don't sleep with them. Don't be with them, A lot of these people want to say that biracial children aren't black anyway, even though they are, in my opinion. But, yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say was on her other video, she's saying that, the divested women are basically, like, they like to have that whole idea where they talk about people being mammies or whatever, and basically picture the white children, the white wife, and the white husband, and she's taking care of the whole family. Now, this is weird to me, because it's like, okay, if you're saying that about divested women, you're basically saying that their biracial children are white? Or what are you doing? If you're doing that, that's kind of weird, because you're basically saying she's white. Because, I mean, you can't have white children without being white yourself. So, I don't know, that's just odd to me, because it's like, that whole idea of things is weird to me. It just is, because it's like, well, divested women have biracial children, which are black children, in my opinion. If you want to say they're white children, that's weird. But I mean, like, if they were really white children, then white children have white mothers, right? They don't have black mothers, so, it kind of erases the whole idea of mammy at the end of the day, doesn't it? I don't know. When people come up with that whole story about mammies, or the original term of it, it kind of messes things up, because to me it's like, you're not actually dealing with the real situation of divested black women. But other than that, I mean, there are a few things that I didn't agree with woman's fear. Most of the things I agree with her message on not putting a man on a pedestal. Very true, very right, you know. When people do that, when people have so much disgruntledness against black men, to me, it just implies this is not actual natural interest, in my opinion. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye.